What's up, everybody? Once again, it is I, James, coming to you from the Nerdy Musings podcast studio. I am very excited to be joined today by Mr. Raymar Brunson. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been following your work. I was telling you before, like way before the podcast, I was following you on Instagram.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Absolutely. Now, you were telling me that you watched a lot of the episodes when I had Justin Mason on here. You a big fan of Justin's?
Oh yeah, man. Definitely.
He's got that a lot of that dynamism. How do you say that? Dynamism,
Yeah.
dynamics. He's got that whole thing going with his work. I could see you being drawn to that because I see your style. There's a lot of motion in your artwork. You convey motion really well.
Thanks, man.
What were some of your influences beyond Justin?
Um, let's see. I mean, James Harren, Daniel Warren Johnson, kind of like
Yeah.
typical guys for people my age. Uh, who else? I got some other people too. Steve Dillon. I don't think his work. I don't think you can really see it in mine, but he's a big influence. Simon Bisley. Uh, that's another big one. Chris Samney. Yeah, a lot of guys.
What about Sean Gordon Murphy? Are there any Sean Gordon
Yeah.
Murphy in there too?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Nice. So you like that kind of gritty, like very dynamic, lots of movement in the panels and things like that.
Yeah.
Were you influenced at all by anime or cartoons or anything?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, growing up, you know, the Marvel DC cartoons, I grew up, well, I was born in 97, so I grew up in the 2000s and, all that
Okay.
stuff was big at the time. That's really that was the stuff that got me into comics. So,
Yeah.
Bruce Timm, all the Bruce Timm stuff, love it.
Batman, the animated series and all of that.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because your generation definitely cites all of that stuff as being major influences on the work. Um,
Yeah.
when you were a kid, were you always somebody that was gravitating towards art and towards comics?
Yeah. Drawing was kind of, the thing I did all the time. I didn't have too many comics growing up. Most of the comics I got were from Marvel Legends figures, when they would come with
Oh,
the
okay.
yeah, the Toy Biz era of Marvel Legends.
Yeah,
They would come with
yeah.
the comics or whatever. Um, and yeah, for a while I thought about doing comics as a kid, and then I thought maybe I'll just do covers. And then eventually I got into filmmaking, and I did that for like from high school up until like a couple years ago. That was like really
Oh,
my thing.
wow.
Yeah.
So you took a little bit of a detour there for a while.
hmm
Now,
Yeah.
with the filmmaking, were you directing? Were you writing? What was your involvement with that?
So mostly directing. I did a couple documentaries, a lot of music videos, did a lot of photo shoots with friends, stuff like that. But mostly music videos.
Nice. Yeah. There's so much crossover with film and comics, I find. Like the people that are heavily influenced by film, that you could see it in their work because the shots they choose, the camera angles, the way the
hmm
action is portrayed. I definitely think that's it's beneficial to understand cinematography to
Oh
really
yeah.
amplify your storytelling in the comics. Do you find that to be true?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. The thing is like when you're actually working on the page and you got to keep all that stuff in your mind. Some of it is kind of it you don't really think about it and it'll come out, but other times you have to like remember like, oh, this would be good for this part of the storytelling. So
Yeah. Did you find that your creativity and your artistic side also influenced your work in film? Did it help aid in that as well? Kind of how you saw shots in your head and how you portrayed them on the film?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, with music videos, it's pretty simple. Just try to make, the people that you're shooting like look cool. So low
Yeah,
angles and stuff like that. That's all you really got to do, to be honest,
right.
for the most part. So yeah,
Did you
definitely.
storyboard it at all?
Sometimes I think honestly, a lot of the people that I worked with really wanted that DIY kind of feel,
Okay.
Um, so not all the time, a couple times, like yeah, literally like two times. So not too much, but yeah,
Nice. Now, when we go back to when you were a kid and you were into art, and you're into the cartoons, the comics, all these things, did you seek out formal training, or were you just looking to kind of learn from books and things like that? I always find it interesting because, like, your generation probably there wasn't the huge abundance of art instructionals on YouTube and all these things that we have nowadays. So,
yeah.
where were you finding your inspiration in your instruction for your artwork? Were you going to classes in school for that, or did you just kind of try to pick up here and there on your own, looking at people's work, looking at books, and that type of thing?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So I from middle school to when I graduated from high school, it was all one school. It was a visual and performing arts school. So I was an art major during all that time. So I had a lot of art teachers that taught me the fundamentals. Not so much anatomy, but just like how to do still life drawing and, working with values and stuff like that, how to draw faces. And a lot of that really helped me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
A lot of the fundamental stuff, a lot of the, you say still life, that's one of the things that, kind of people dread, but they can't see the value in it in the time. But,
yeah.
down the road, I think you grow an appreciation for putting that foundation in, right?
Man, I'm so happy I know that stuff, man, because yeah, I would be just losing my mind if I didn't have it already.
Yeah. So I see that you have had your work published. You've got your own creator owned work and all of that kind of stuff. So take me back to when you were first, getting to a place where you felt that your art was to a level that you actually wanted to put it out there and get some of your work into print.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even that long ago. It feels like it, but it's really not. That's like early 2023. A friend of mine, who's an artist, Anthony Carranza, he he's got his own published work, and we talked, and he was like, "You should just make a comic, man." Like, cause I was just drawing for fun, just for me, and I was like, "You know what? I'll try it. Why not?" And I worked on this book, and it was kind of an ambitious thing, not a thing you should do as a first comic. Like three
Yeah.
issues and trying to tell this crazy story, and it just didn't work out. And then I transitioned from that to Ghostman, which is like the thing people probably mostly know me for, um, which is just a dude in a sheet with guns, is just Punisher in a just as a ghost. Um,
Nice, nice.
and that was a way for me to just kind of have fun, just free myself a little bit, and just do whatever I wanted to do. And then I pitched that to Cosmic Lion Productions, and they published that. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah,
Yeah, so when you said that other project you just took on too much,
yeah,
basically, was it you just got overwhelmed with the amount of, the expectation you had versus what you could actually do? Was that kind of what
yeah.
what it came down to?
Oh yeah, 100%. Thinking I was ready to do crazy anatomy stuff and perspective, and I'm like, oh, now I actually got to draw what I wrote. You know?
Yeah, yeah. So what changed between then and when you decided to do Ghostman? Did you go in and just put your nose to the grindstone and really work on, your figure drawing and all the things that you kind of learned that you needed to be a little more proficient at?
Yeah, that, and also just trying to play to my strengths. Um, and Ghostman is a pretty simple character, so that kind of took a lot of the stress away. I just focused on trying to make it look as cool as I could. Just really thinking about what I liked, what I wanted to do. Um, but
Yeah.
working on that other thing did help because it made me realize like how much discipline I didn't have. Because that took me a while just to do like one issue with that. So this was like, okay, I really need to focus and just get Ghostman done, and just sit down every day
Yeah.
and draw.
That's it. Just being regimented and putting in the work, right? Like
Oh yeah,
there's so much when you can do that, there's so much that can be learned during that process. I'm sure you've learned a lot. Like, do you look back at your earlier stuff on Ghostman and be like, "Oh man, I
yeah,
don't even
man.
know. I don't even know what I was thinking there."
I mean, some of it is like, man, I need to do more of that. Like, I kind of lost that. I should get back to that. But yeah, other stuff is like, I don't hate it, but obviously, I would do it differently. But I wouldn't actually go back and change anything if I really could. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just part of the journey, man.
Yeah, just learn from it and apply those lessons to your future work, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Now, where do things stand with Ghostman here nowadays?
yeah. So, Ghostman 2 is gonna be in shops in July. I forgot what date exactly. But it's on
Okay.
previews right now, so people can pre-order it. Um, and then I have the third issue is pretty much written. I'm just like figuring out some other stuff, but
Nice.
yeah, it's just this. Like I said, it's just Punisher with a sheet, man, and he's got powers. He can go through walls and he can conjure guns at will, and I'm just using it to have fun. It's kind of a way for me to figure out a lot of stuff with my art. I can tell
Yeah.
whatever kind of story. The stories don't really connect at all. It's just crazy thing after crazy thing.
I
Just having
like it,
fun, man.
man.
Yeah,
Keep it
thanks.
simple, right? Play to your
Oh yeah.
strengths and keep it simple. You're having
Hmm.
fun, so that's going to come across in the work.
Yeah.
Um, so you kind of took a little different path because a lot of the younger creators that I talk to, like they're doing a lot of their stuff, doesn't see print unless they're doing like a Kickstarter or something like that. It sounds like you were able to get this picked up by an actual publisher and get it out there that way.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of I mean, eventually I do want to kickstart the book, but we'll get there when we get there, I guess. But yeah, I just well, I had done some things with Cosmic Line, like a few pinups and stuff like that, so they were aware of
Okay.
me. Um, and then once I did Ghost, man, it just kind of made sense. Like, oh, let me see, you know, what happens. And but I was prepared to like do a Kickstarter if they didn't take it. So I just got real lucky, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Like I find it interesting because everybody I have on kind of has a different story about how their first work got published, Some of them
Hmm.
is that traditional route, and some of them it can be completely like just be in the right place at the right time or meet the
Hmm.
right person, and there's always like it makes it hard, because people always want that advice on like how do I get my work published, how do I get in, but it's like it's different for everybody. Have you
Yeah.
have you seen that play true, like with your friends and stuff too? Like it's just one of those things where sometimes it's because you know somebody, sometimes it's because you
Yeah.
you pitch your work at the right time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think if nothing else, man, it's just like with all those different stories, you just got to let the work speak for itself, like more than anything. Um, you
Yeah,
know, people who are gonna get it are gonna get it, it's even if your work isn't for everybody, somebody will like it, somebody will buy it, somebody will read it, you know. But
yeah,
yeah, luck is definitely a big part of it though.
yeah. True. Do you So you're currently working on issue 3, you said, and I'm
Hmm.
sure that kind of keeps you busy. How much of your time do you split up and still like practice and build your skill set, or is most of your practice just getting done by creating the book?
Um, a lot of it for a while was just moving project to project, whether it was books or commissions. Recently I kind of been starting off taking an hour each day to just kind of practice, and that's been helping a
Yeah,
lot. Um, But for the most part, yeah, that's really just how it is. Just start off the day, practice a little bit, get to the project. Recently I've been saving the weekend for like commissions and stuff. And commissions really help me a lot. Just when I really get to experiment in the work a lot more. Because I
Yeah.
don't want to like work on a book and just kind of just throw in every single possible thing I come across. Just making it real inconsistent. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any resources in particular that you look to when you are practicing and trying to up your game in your art?
Mostly just looking at uh whatever artist I'm into, or all the artists I'm into. And what's been pretty cool recently is I've been taking like uh, the artists I like, copying some of their work and applying it to my own stuff in my sketchbooks. Like, oh, how would this look if I did it like this? You know?
Nice.
Yeah, so that's been pretty fun.
We talked a little bit about Daniel Warren Johnson. You brought him up, and
Yeah.
when I get on one of his Friday night streams or whatever, and I'm just watching him go on there, there's so much freedom to what he does and how he creates, and
hmm
it just comes out amazing. And I know that's not an accident. I know it's because he's done it, hundreds of thousands of times, but
Yeah.
I just get blown away every time I watch him, like inking without a ruler and doing crazy
Man,
stuff.
I don't get
I
it.
mean,
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
you kind of get the same feeling, like I don't know how
Oh
he's
yeah.
doing that. Like I might never be able to do that. That's kind of how
Yeah.
it feels, doesn't it?
Yeah, man. But it's still so inspiring at the same time. Like, maybe I'll get there if I'm lucky. But either way, it's just outside of his art, it's just inspiring that he's doing his own thing, man. Like
For
successfully,
sure.
like time and time again.
Yeah.
Like that man has no like bad anything. It's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't found anything he did that I didn't like so far. I know he's working on like a big sci-fi epic
hmm
creator-owned thing that he's doing. He's been working on for a long time, and every now and again on those Friday streams, he'll show he'll be working on a page from it, and it's
Yeah,
just phenomenal. Like all this crazy architecture and sci-fi stuff. It's like
man.
it's gonna be
All
another
the
banger. He's gonna come out with another crazy thing.
man, the world, everybody's gonna be there for it, man. Like
Yeah.
every time,
Now,
man.
do
When
you
okay,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say once. I remember when Transformers got announced, man, and I don't think I've ever been that hyped for a comic ever in my life, man. Because I'm a
Yeah.
big Transformers fan, and he's in my top three, so it was just like how, like that's just made for me.
Well, and it was amazing too. Like he went in there and he did something fresh with the story too. Because I'm
hmm
an OG Transformers guy. Like, I'm not as young as you, as surprising as that may be, with all this gray in my beard. But when I saw that, it's like he really breathed new life into that property. I feel like he
Yeah.
came in there with a unique take, and had some twists in there and stuff that you wouldn't normally see in a Transformers
Oh
book,
yeah.
and kind of caught everybody off guard. And then even when he, when the what is it, Jorge Core that took over the art, like
hmm
that guy came in there and his work is phenomenal too. So it wasn't like, sometimes you get on a book that you love and the writing's great and the artist's
Yeah.
great, and then all of a sudden the fill-in guy comes on and you're like, oh no.
Man, I was so worried, man. And then
Yeah,
once,
this
yeah,
this wasn't this was a pleasant surprise, wasn't it?
yeah, man, he became a favorite of mine too. Just off of that, man. I went and checked out everything.
Yep.
Great artist.
Yeah. Have you been following that the other book that Daniel's doing, the Moon is Following?
I need to get caught up. I read the first four issues, but I've been just busy, just doing
Yeah.
other stuff. So yeah,
Consistently great.
okay, yeah, I got to get
And
back
that
to it.
and that introduced me to another great artist. That
hmm
the artist that also is on there that does all the dream sequences and everything,
Yeah,
like
Riley Rossmo. Yeah,
Riley. Yeah, Riley. Another one. It's like, where have all these people been hiding, man? I think Daniel's been keeping all of them in his back pocket for these
right.
projects or something.
Oh, seriously.
With Daniel's work, I mean, like you said, it's just one great thing after another. And again, I think it's one of these situations where he does stuff that he's passionate about and that he's having fun doing.
Hmm.
So I think that really carries over into the work.
Yeah,
You find
definitely.
that to be true as a creator as well. You're like you said with Ghost Man,
Hmm.
you're just having fun. You're doing your thing. You don't have all these restrictions on you. I
Yeah,
think that's what he does too. I think that's the secret.
yeah, yeah. And I am trying to, challenge myself with it too. I'm not trying to do the same thing each time. I am trying to have fun, but up the ante just ever so slightly. Um,
Yeah.
the third one's gonna be pretty cool because I'm gonna do a lot more like world building and just figuring out what the city he's from is like. Because I haven't really talked about that too much. It's pretty nondescript, but yeah, you're gonna see a lot more with the third issue. It's gonna be pretty crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, do you you pencil and ink and do all your own art? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I do digital pencils, print that out. I might go over traditional pencil a little bit just to tighten up some stuff
Yeah.
and then yeah, traditional inks.
So you're rocking the tradigital
Yeah.
process, as Dan Fraga calls it. That's smart, man. You got to have those originals to sell.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something. But the freedom digital gives you, especially in that layout and sketching stage, that's what I find is the most helpful in streamlining. Like most of the stuff I do, I like to go in there. I might do a really small thumbnail sketch on paper, but then I take that in and clean it up, and then
Hmm.
you can just move things and change proportions and stuff so fast compared to having to erase something and
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else. Was digital kind of always a part of your workflow from early on? Like
Nah.
when it became
I
more widely available, did you adopt it pretty quick, or were you a little resistant to it at first?
yeah, I was definitely a little resistant. Cause let me see. I didn't do any digital art until maybe 2022 was when I first got my iPad.
Okay.
And digital inking is just not I can't do it, man. It's weird. But I tried to do digital comics and yeah, like for that reason, yeah, digital inking is just I just couldn't get that feel for it. And there's just so many different brush options, man. It's just overwhelming. So I was just like, nah, like forget
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna just go old fashioned, just ink it, traditionally.
Now, what app do you prefer to use? I know there's the ongoing debate about Clip Studio or Procreate. What do you prefer?
Yeah, I just go Procreate. I wanted to try Clip
Okay.
Studio, but we'll see. But Procreate is fine for now.
So I can tell you that Clip Studio is a lot better for inking.
Mm,
So you might actually like inking more on there. But another pro tip, I just got this tip from Joshua Durstein, who was on here
oh
not
yeah.
too long ago, and he's got this thing for his iPad. It's called the brand is called AstroPad, but it's
Mm,
called Rock Paper Pencil, and it's this combination of this magnetic screen protector that
mm.
has like a paper texture to it,
Oh yeah.
along with a different pen tip that you use along with that.
Mm,
And it is the closest thing to feeling like actually being on traditional that I've ever had with the
mm.
iPad. So I'm
Okay.
finding I'm actually like, I didn't like much on there as far as inking and stuff, but with that combination, along with Clip Studio, it probably feels about the closest you can get to the real thing.
Okay. Yeah, I might have to try that out.
But again, then you got no originals to sell, so
Yeah, exactly.
maybe we don't want to go too far in that direction, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if anything, it'll be good for like if I got to do corrections or something like that. That'll
Yeah,
definitely help.
it feels more like a pencil on paper or a nib on paper, so it's just it doesn't you don't get that disconnect like you sometimes feel. Like you can get used to drawing on the iPad, but it's always still something about that gritty nature of drawing on
Mm.
actual paper is, for me at least, that's there's something about that that you just can't really replicate.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Same, man.
So do you have any aspirations of maybe working for one of the bigger publishers one day? or are you just content to kind of keep working on this and maybe pitch something to Image or something and see where it goes? What are your? I'm sure you're leaving your options open, but do you have any inclinations towards any of that?
Yeah, no, 100%, man. I would love to. Like the Punisher is my favorite comic book character, man. I would love to do a Punisher
Here,
story one
here,
day.
look at this. Hold on. Boom.
Yeah.
There he is.
Oh man,
That's
so
sick.
good.
Yeah. Punisher is in my top three.
Oh yeah. Who
Yeah.
else? Who else is up there?
Hulk and Wolverine.
Okay, cool, cool,
Hulk, Wolverine, and Punisher. Those are my guys.
cool,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
love to do something with Punisher, man. Over DC, Batman, obviously.
Yeah.
The
That's what
question that's a
everybody says, man. Whenever DC comes up, I want to work on Batman. Very, very rare that somebody said Superman. Let's see. Vken was on here, Vken Marion, and he said
mm,
like he's got an idea for a fresh take on Superman that he'd like to do one day.
hmm.
But yeah, everybody else says Batman.
Yeah, man. I think because so many great artists have worked on Batman that is just so inspiring, man. Like you just want to try what they did, try to,
Yeah,
play around with, like Kelly Jones. I've really been getting into his Batman era. Like it's like, oh, that's so cool. I wish I could do that,
so much good stuff.
man, amazing.
Yeah, it's like never ending. Like the artists that have been on Batman, I can think of like 10 off the top of my head that were just phenomenal.
Man, so many artists who I wish did more. Like it could be very little on
Yeah.
Batman, and I'm just like, man, why didn't you just get them to do more?
And now we got Nick Dragotta on Absolute Batman, which has been really cool.
Yeah, man,
It's
definitely.
like a different take, and he's just like going all out with it. Are you caught up on that book at all? Have you been checking that out?
I just recently got into it, so I'm still pretty early. But
Okay.
yeah, man, it's been
No
crazy.
spoilers, but there's something that hardcore that happens like a couple issues ago. I was like, wow, you really went there. I was like, props to them. That's pretty cool. You don't see that in a Batman comic.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they've been just really going for it. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and he's actually Dragotta is somebody I didn't know about prior to that. And then I
Mm,
started looking into his other work and it's like, man, I wish I would have been following this guy since day one. It's amazing stuff.
yeah, that's the
Don't you
thing, man.
feel
It's
like
oh,
it's
good.
never ending? We go on you could go on Instagram. Like I just followed like two more artists I didn't know about the other day that are phenomenal. And I'm like, how
Yeah,
is this guy not the number one artist for Marvel or DC? Like, what's going on here?
yeah, man. It's just constant. Like there's people who have been established that you don't know about. And you find them, and then there's new people, indie artists, and then you go back and there's like older artists, and you're like, how's nobody talking about this artist? This person was doing crazy shit back in
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
decade. It's just constant.
Now with your book, obviously you have physical, like printed, published copies and everything that you sell. Do you ever go to any cons, like set up a booth at a con or anything like that?
I haven't yet, but I'll be at Heroes Con this summer. That'll be
Oh, very
my first
cool.
show. Yeah,
First big con experience being on the vendor side of things,
yeah, I'll be there with
exhibitor.
yeah, I'll be there with my publisher. So yeah, that'll be my first big experience, man. It's gonna be crazy.
That's going to be cool. Now, would this be your first con that you've gone to or just your first con that you've been on that side of the table?
No, it's gonna be my first con, man. Cause like when I was,
Dang.
yeah, man. Cause when I was, and people are always surprised when I say that, but I'm like, I really was just locked in on the filmmaking side. Like I was drawn, but I wasn't, you know, uh, I was still reading comics here and there, but it was just like movies. Like I was more likely to go to a film festival than anything.
Yeah.
So,
What sparked that kind of shift for you to switch
um,
back, to get back into the art side and kind of make that your focus?
I think like mm, artists like Daniel Warren Johnson and watching his stream and just seeing, how he just made it look easy, which is not, but That was real inspiring. Just hearing so many creators talk about how they just, were doing their own thing. Oh, you can do whatever, just do it, you know. And also being able to more or less be fully in control. Because, if I'm directing, even if it is my vision, I can't really control people,
Yeah.
and like I still have to rely on people. Like, oh, I can't shoot this because this person didn't show up, like, oh, the weather's bad, so we can't do this. Like, oh, let's try another day. No, I just have to sit here and
Yeah.
just draw, man. Like, you know, way easier.
Yeah. Now you mentioned commissions. Do you get a lot of commissions these days? Or
Um,
do you kind of limit it? Do you open it up and have a list, and then once it fills up, you shut it down until you get them done? How does that go?
recently, well, I keep them open. Recently, I just
Okay.
got a lot, which has been pretty crazy. Not overwhelming, but just like, oh, okay, people are starting to see my stuff now, so that's pretty cool. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I just, take on, what I can, sit down, figure it out, get it done, on to the next one, try to put my best work into it, always. So,
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that aspiration to maybe potentially get, in with one of the big two or in with
hmm
Image. What's your plan as far as, are you developing a portfolio that you want to be able to show?
yeah,
I mean, obviously, you're showing that you can do regular work because you are doing your own book and doing sequentials and all of that. So you'll have that as an example to show
yeah,
publishers like, hey, here's a thing I actually did. It's right
hmm
here. Here's a couple issues.
yeah.
But along with that, are you thinking about, crafting a portfolio maybe off of some sample scripts from Marvel or DC?
Yeah, I actually got something I'm working on right now. I did this thing where, cause I looked up, I just searched on X or Twitter, whatever, like sample scripts just to see what would pop up, and I saw that a lot of editors were like, "Oh man, we need to get some new sample scripts out there. Everybody's just kind of doing the same thing. I'm tired of looking at this Hawkeye Spider-Man
Yeah.
story." So I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, let me try to do something different." So I posted on my Instagram story. I was like, "Hey, somebody write me a 6-page story from one of these characters," and it was like Punisher, Batman, and Wolverine and somebody else. And yeah,
Yeah.
this writer I know, he like wrote a 6-page Batman story for me that's like really good. So I'm about to
Nice.
work on that. Yeah,
I might have
maybe
to
make a
ask you.
zine or something.
Might have to ask you to share that with me.
Oh yeah,
DM it to me.
yeah, I
That
got you,
sounds
man.
sick.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's such a thing where, it's so cool that we have that reach now to be able to get out there and connect with other creators. Like,
hmm
um, I don't see it as, I don't feel it as much on Instagram anymore, but on X, I feel the interactivity with the creators is a lot higher. Like,
hmm
I'm always having, like, shoot, I posted a Youngblood cover I did, and Rob Liefeld like reposted it and said nice. I'm like, whoa, like that's never happened over on Instagram. This is cool.
right. Yeah.
Um, and I see that with a lot of the writers on there, and some of the editors are on there, and they're very interactive with the community.
hmm
Um, so, are you finding it's being a thing where you're getting your work seen more, just being on there, being involved, and chatting with people?
Yeah. Definitely. Reddit is another good one too. I feel like a lot of people don't really utilize like, you post something on
Interesting.
Reddit, like people are on Reddit all the time.
See,
Um,
I'm scared of Reddit because the I'm a professional Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor. That's my actual,
mm,
livelihood for the past 22 years, full time, and the Reddit for BJJ is not a good place to go. It's not the most positively supportive place. So it sounds like there's some a decent community there for the artists, the comic artists out there, though.
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sure it has its bad actors too, but
oh yeah, I recently just got banned from was it r/slash comic books. It's like the
oh,
biggest one because I posted a week before I posted the Spider-Man drawing I did that kind of blew up, and then I did another one. I got a commission like because of that piece. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'll post this commission in here too, and then I got banned, and I DM'd the like moderator like, hey, like, what happened? He's like, oh, like if you read our rules, it's very clear. and it was just like what was it? Basically, I was spamming, but not like I was posting a lot. It was just like, oh, you're not really
Too
interacting with other
much,
people,
too
so
much self promotion or something.
yeah. But it's like 2 posts in like a week, so it's like whatever, man.
Yeah.
I guess like apparently that subreddit like their mods are like on a
Somebody
tirade.
got somebody got salty.
Yeah,
Somebody got a little jealous their artwork didn't get them a commission off of their
right,
post.
right.
I shouldn't alienate people on there in case I want to get on there. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
I don't know, man. I
Oh
mean,
man.
Reddit has its reputation for a reason, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah,
sure you know you got to take the good with the bad, right? Like you got to get on
yeah,
there, and ultimately it's a place for the creators to interact, and I'm sure there's Reddits dedicated to like showing your work and stuff too that people can go on.
hmm
But yeah, I'll have to check it out. I don't
yeah.
know. I might have to have you, back me up, be there. Hey, this guy is legit. Don't mess with him. So beyond Reddit and X, are you mainly on Instagram? Is that kind of your preferred platform to show your
Yeah,
work?
yeah. I need to transition over to Blue Sky. I made an account, but I just haven't really posted too much or really like said that
Same.
I have an account. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like whenever one of these new platform comes out, you kind of have to secure your name on there, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
You don't want to be like Rob Liefeld, where he's Robert Liefeld on Twitter because somebody else squatted Rob Liefeld and won't
yeah,
give it to him.
yeah. But and
Yeah, so
also,
I always feel,
I'm just kind of trying to wait it out, see if Blue Sky lasts. You know, I don't want to like,
yeah.
jump
Or
ship
remember
and
that Kara app for artists or whatever? That was another one where I was like, I better get my name on there, and then it's like didn't really seem like it really took off.
the only reason I made a Kara account is that it seemed like James Harren was gonna transition over there, so I was like, oh, I want to see his work, so I'll just make an account so I can look at his shit. But then that just
Yeah,
died. So
yeah. There was quite a few artists that said, "Hey, I'm off Instagram. I'm only gonna be over there." So same thing. I'm like, "Oh, I better go over there," and then
yeah,
it just seemed to drop off pretty quick. Also, they like the when an app like that probably wasn't intended to grow to hundreds of millions of users right away
yeah,
does. Remember, it was like crashing constantly.
yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know. The thing that kills me is just like for I mean we don't have to get into it, but for whatever reason, people are just kind of like completely jumping ship. Like, oh, I'm like terminating my Instagram. I'm like, man, I can't afford to do that. Like, that's not happening.
no,
I'm not in a position to do that.
no. Yeah, us regular folks, we got to be able to be seen,
Yeah,
get
man.
get that exposure wherever we can for whether it be we're doing a podcast or we do art or whatever. Like,
hmm
there's no denying that X and Instagram and all of those are pretty much still the biggest platforms for that type of thing.
Yeah,
The only thing with
exactly.
IG is it throttles so much. Like
Yeah.
the ability to be seen on there is very
hmm
hard now. It's like I have tons of great artists I follow, and half the time I'll think they fell off because I haven't seen anything posted by them in months. And then I'll
hmm
go and look directly on their profile, and they're like, "Oh, they're posting every day. It's just not showing it to me. What's going on here?"
Yeah, man, it sucks.
Yeah.
It really does.
Now, so we're working on Ghostman 3,
hmm
working on commissions. What else you got brewing? I know you said you got a story idea in the back of your brain and all of that.
Uh,
Like,
I got
got
some other
anything
stuff
else
to.
you're able to share, or is it all secret?
Yeah, it's secret, man. I got some crazy stuff. Like, there's one thing where I'm like, how did this even? How did we get here? What happened?
Nice.
What did I do? How did we get like? It's unbelievable, but I can't
You're
talk
doing
about it.
something
So
right. You're
yeah,
doing something right.
I guess so. I guess so, man.
Now, for the listeners out there, if you had advice for an aspiring creator,
Oh
what
boy.
would that be? Like the most basic of advice. Like they come to you, like, because you're going to be on the other side of the table at the con, and I want you to
Hmm.
be prepared for that, because you are
Yeah.
going to have younger creators come up, and they're going to see your work, and they're going to see stuff that, like, you may not even think is to the level you want it to be, but to them it's at a level they could never produce at this point in their journey, right? So
Hmm.
if they're asking you, hey, Raymar, what do I need to do? Like, how do I get better? How should I go about getting my work published? All of that.
Hmm.
What's some advice that you would give them?
Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, and this is something. Oh, well, obviously, I learned it along the way, but I've just thought about it more recently. Is that the biggest challenge I think people need to think about is just trying to be better than who you were the day before. Just try to one up yourself. Like you can look
Yeah.
at other artists and use them for inspiration, but don't compare yourself too much. Just like try to be better than that last piece you did. It'll like really help. It's just
Yeah.
like you versus yourself is just, it really
There's
helps.
a
It
great
just
expression that I always say. It's comparison is the thief of joy.
yeah, it really is.
Right? And
Cause
you see that,
yeah,
like you or I may look at Daniel Warren Johnson and be like, I could never do that. And then you're gonna have the guy that looks at, your work, or whoever. "Oh, I could never do that." It's like, no, just focus on you. Ask yourself, are you better than the you of 3 days ago, a week ago, 6 months
hmm,
ago? Do you know more? And usually you can say yes to that, right? Like, we could both sit here and go, oh yeah, my art's a little better than it was a month ago or 2 months
yeah,
ago. Like, but
yeah. Because it man, I recently looked back at my work from like 2022, and I'm like, man, this is god awful. Like what happened? But it feels like in the moment it feels like such a you're going day by day, and it feels like it takes so long. But just that's just a few years ago, and things have just
yeah,
changed like so much.
yeah. I think too, like, people realizing that you just need to produce the work and kind of learn from the mistakes and move on, like you were talking about,
Yeah.
is a big one. Like, not being so afraid to make mistakes. I was talking with this other artist I had on earlier today, and I was telling her, you need to create a course on inking because your inking's so good. And I
Mm.
said, people are afraid of the permanence of ink. It's like, oh, if I make a mistake, it's like, no, there's whiteout. There's all these
Yeah.
different things you can do. It's no more permanent than pencil.
Yeah.
And, but we often build these barriers in our minds, especially the younger, up and coming aspiring creators. So there's those hurdles you kind of just have to bust through, right?
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. And I mean, the more you do something, the more comfortable you'll become with it. So it's just getting through that hurdle. You just got to do it.
Yeah,
You just got to start.
for sure, man. Well, listen, I've had a great time chatting with you tonight and
Yeah.
hanging
Same, man.
out. And I'd love to have you back on again in the future if you ever have anything you want to promote. Maybe when issue 3 is ready to drop, we get you back on here.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, I want to give you a couple minutes here to have the spotlight, let everybody know the best places to follow you, let them know where to be on the lookout for your book and all that good stuff.
Mm.
The stage is yours, my friend.
Yeah. So on all social media, it's Arta Brunson. Let's see, Ghostman issue 1, and well, yeah, Ghostman issue 1 you can get from CosmicLionProductions.com. It is in comic shops too. So Ghostman 2 is on the way pretty soon. Actually, another book of mine, Biomechanical Protector, Bone Grinder. That's coming to shops May 28th. So I'm real
Nice.
excited for that. Um, yeah, commissions are open. Cosmic Lion Productions is also my art rep, so you can go to go to their website and look at the original art section, and there's a place where you can order commissions, or you can reach out to me directly.
Sweet.
Um, I think that's it, man. And there's other stuff on the way, but can't talk about it. So
Yeah. Everybody need to go get some originals while you can still afford them. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, hang out with me for a moment. I'm going to let everybody know that they need to go check out your work. I will put all the links in the description so you can go pick up Ghostman, and make sure you follow Raymar over on Instagram. Everybody, you are already listening to the podcast, which means you found it. I would just ask that if you are enjoying it, you like listening to me chat with these amazing creators that I have on every week, go ahead and give us a like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, a review, whatever tickles your fancy. And in the meantime, everybody, keep it nerdy.